In the early hours after midnight in Niger's capital, a burst of gunfire and explosions near Niamey's main airport raised a question with consequences far beyond one runway. Was this another jihadist strike in the Sahel, or the opening move in a wider regional confrontation involving foreign powers? One fact immediately stood out as the smoke cleared. Niger has now recorded the fastest rise in terrorism deaths anywhere in the world, with fatalities jumping 94% in a single year, a backdrop that makes every incident politically explosive. What happens next matters because Niamey sits at the intersection of security, sovereignty, and geopolitical realignment in West Africa. If this incident escalates into open confrontation with neighboring states or former partners, Niger risks deeper isolation and instability. If it fades without accountability, it reinforces a pattern where armed actors test the limits of a fragile security environment. And if the authorities successfully contain the fallout, it could strengthen the junta's claim that breaking with Western powers and turning elsewhere for support was a necessary gamble. This video unpacks what the airport incident reveals about Niger's security crisis, why accusations were immediately leveled against France, Benin, and Côte d'Ivoire, and how the Sahel's shifting alliances are reshaping the balance of power in a region already under severe strain. It follows the chain of events, the actors involved, and the deeper forces driving instability without assuming outcomes that remain uncertain. Shortly after midnight on Wednesday, residents living near Niamey's airport reported sustained gunfire and multiple explosions. The airport is adjacent to Base Aérienne 101, a strategically sensitive military installation that in recent years has hosted first US forces and later Russian personnel. Witness videos showed streaks of light across the sky, flames rising several meters high, and vehicles burned near airport facilities. By roughly an hour later, the firing stopped and calm returned, but the damage was visible. Satellite imagery released the following morning showed scorched areas close to the runway, suggesting the use of heavy weapons or explosives rather than isolated small arms fire. Within hours, Niger's military leader, General Abdurrahmane Chiani, addressed the nation on state television. He attributed responsibility for the attack to external sponsorship, accusing France and two neighboring coastal states, Benin and Côte d'Ivoire, of backing the assailants. He framed the incident as part of a broader confrontation between Niger and what he portrayed as hostile powers acting through regional proxies. No evidence was publicly presented to substantiate these claims, and officials in the accused countries did not immediately respond. Independent observers offered a different reading. Niger has been battling armed groups linked to the Islamic State and al-Qaida for more than a decade, particularly in the tri-border region with Mali and Burkina Faso. These groups have steadily expanded their operational reach. Analysts noted that warnings of a possible attack near Niamey had circulated in recent days, pointing to militant cells operating closer to the capital than before. An al-Qaida-linked group known as Jama'at Nusrat ul-Islam wa al-Muslimin, or JANIM, had claimed responsibility just days earlier for destroying an army vehicle with an improvised explosive device east of the city, signaling intent to strike high-profile targets. The airport attack also had immediate civilian and economic consequences. Aircraft belonging to multiple regional airlines were damaged on the tarmac by gunfire. One Togolese carrier reported that two of its planes were rendered inoperable, with visible bullet holes in their fuselages, while Air Côte d'Ivoire confirmed that one of its aircraft had been hit. Although no confirmed casualty figures were released, the images of damaged commercial planes underscored how quickly insecurity can disrupt regional connectivity. To understand why this incident resonates so widely, it helps to look back to July 2023. That month, Niger's presidential guard overthrew the democratically elected president Mohamed Bazoum, marking the seventh successful coup in West and Central Africa within 3 years. General Chiani emerged as the head of a new military government that suspended the constitution and faced swift international condemnation. The Economic Community of West African States imposed sanctions and threatened military intervention. In response, Niger withdrew from the bloc alongside Mali and Burkina Faso, forming the Alliance of Sahel States in September 2023. That break signaled a sharp geopolitical turn. Niger expelled French troops, who had long been involved in counterterrorism operations, and later asked US forces to leave as well. In their place, Niamey sought closer security ties with Moscow, welcoming Russian personnel and support. The junta argued that Western-backed strategies had failed to stem jihadist violence, and that a new approach was required. Yet the security indicators since the coup tell a grim story. According to the Global Terrorism Index 2025, Niger experienced the largest increase in terrorism deaths worldwide in 2024, with fatalities rising to 930, the highest level recorded for the country since the index began. This context helps explain why blame for the airport incident was quickly externalized. For the junta, portraying the attack as foreign-sponsored fits a narrative of national sovereignty under siege and justifies tighter security measures and continued alignment away from former partners. At the same time, acknowledging a successful militant strike so close to the capital would undermine claims that the new strategy is delivering stability. Two plausible future paths now loom. In one scenario, the authorities double down on the claim of external aggression, escalating diplomatic and possibly military tensions with neighboring states perceived as hostile. That could further fragment West Africa, weaken regional cooperation against armed groups, and create openings for militants to exploit interstate rivalries. In another scenario, evidence emerges pointing clearly to jihadist responsibility, forcing the junta to confront the limits of its current security approach and potentially reconsider cooperation mechanisms it has abandoned. As Niamey returns to a surface calm, heavy security now rings the airport and the adjacent base, while daily life in most neighborhoods continues. The contrast is telling. Beneath the routines of ordinary life lies a volatile mix of insurgency, political uncertainty, and shifting alliances. Whether the airport attack proves to be an isolated episode or a signal of escalating conflict will depend on facts that are still emerging and decisions yet to be made.